Hello, welcome back to another episode of John the PM, where we believe that managing projects is not just a job, but a way of life. I have another great quote here that I am going to read to you. Your team board should be more than just a to do list, it should be your team's single source of truth. I love Kanban boards. My family knows that I love them. My team knows that I love them. I happen to use Planner, but you can use Jira. You can use, there's just a lot of great systems that are out there, on those pieces. You know what? You can even use pen and paper. Believe me, if you've never used a Kanban board and if you have young children at home, they absolutely love them. Why? Because you can move the little blocks over from the left to the right. In its most simplest format is to do, doing, done. And what is great about this is that you can script out all the things that need to be done. And then when you're doing them, you put a little block over. And when they're done, you put them in done. Now, what I recommend in class normally is for people to go back to their workstations and just ask their team, hey, what is the way a project normally flows out in our world? Now, if they start saying 8 to 10 items, they're more than likely just repeating doctrine. Again, it's not that I want you to rewrite doctrine. What I want you to do is actually write down what you actually do. What is the natural flow? On those areas. Some people may call that value stream, work stream. There's a lot of different terminologies that you can use. But the idea is that you're identifying phases that your work normally goes through on that side. Now, if you have key events or key things that are habitually done, what you can do is have a planning meeting. What do you do during a planning meeting? You kind of script out all the requirements, all the things that have to be done for this work to be done, put them down in what we would typically call user stories, but you can call them tasks or you can call them your to-do list, all the items that need to be done, and then identify who is going to do what by when. The great thing about this, especially if you're using a Microsoft project or something of that nature, the ClickUp, that's another great tool, is that you can assign emails and reminders so that people know to kind of follow up on areas or that they need to start a task or they need to have that task completed, by X date. This way you can review it over a weekly period and kind of see where everything is at and what the current status is. Again, if you do it in a visual board, information radiator, and have it in the middle of a team room, highly visible area, or if you happen to be doing it electronically, you can have it where people can easily access it or where it comes up to them automatically so that people have a pretty good idea of what the taskings are. And therefore, the reduction in surprises should be lower than normal, on that side. Again, if you've never used a Kanban board, I would highly suggest it. It is awesome. You know what? Right before I sign off, let's make this a little bit more personal. Let's say that you're at home and you're working with your family, your family unit there, and there's some things that need to be done. Say, like take yard maintenance on those aside. So on your to-do pile, you can have cut the lawn. You can have another one that says edge. You can have another one that says rake the leaves, bag the leaves, put the leaves out in the, out by the curb to be picked up. You can have clean up the flower bed. So all of those are in your to-do list. And then you can put down dates of when you want them done or not done, on those aside. And then as you do them, or doing them, you can put them in your to-do list. That's what you're, to do. And then when they're done, they're kind of script over. If you have it done on like a weekly basis, then you just reconnect them, the following week, reset it back in those areas. Again, you can set that up. I just used the yard because that was the thing that came closest to mind the quickest. But you can do that whether it's inside the house or outside or whatever work that you happen to be doing or engaged in. Again, if you haven't tried it, try it. Do it on a small scale first before you scale up. All the processes, tools, and techniques that we discuss in our class is always scalable and repeatable on that side. So no issues, no harms, or no concern. Well, again, hopefully you've enjoyed this episode of John the PM. where we believe that managing projects is not just a job, but a way of life. If you like this episode, please hit the like button below. It helps us to be of service to you. May everything go well for you, and may you be successful on all of your projects.